So about a week ago, the folks at Nitram sent me an email and asked me if I wanted to try out one of the new products, the Nitram Stylus. Since I already buy their charcoal, I thought this might be a good time to not only do a review of the stylus, but also tell you guys all about the rest of the drawing materials that I use. So I've been making a lot of drawings lately, more than I have in a while. The last time that I made this many drawings was before grad school, and it was right after my wife and I got married, and we were living in this tiny little apartment, and I didn't have any place that I could actually paint. So I did a lot of drawings. I did mostly graphite, and I was drawing on just kind of whatever paper I could get at Hobby Lobby, and I would mount that to basically just a prepared panel that I could get at Hobby Lobby too. And that way I didn't need a drawing board, and I could just basically sit on my couch like I am now and draw away. I learned a lot from those months of only doing drawings, and it helped me a lot in my painting because up until then I hadn't realized how closely connected drawing and painting actually are. It's super important to have a good base in drawing if you want to be a good painter. So once I started grad school, I really only focused on painting. I didn't have a lot of time, and I was, really trying to just get my paintings done, let alone to have drawings in on top of that. So I knew when I graduated that I wanted to get back into doing more drawings. One of the ways that I knew I wanted to do more drawings was by doing studies for my paintings. I wanted to be able to spend more time figuring out all of the nitty-gritty aspects of the form and how I was going to basically solve some of those problems before I started adding color into the mix. So I've been doing a lot of painting studies, and I've also been getting a lot of commissions lately. So I thought it might be a good time to actually go and talk about all of the different materials that I use for the drawings. So whether I'm doing life drawing or I'm doing a studio drawing, basically like a painting study or a commission, I'm using the same paper, which is a gray toned Canson paper. I think they call it gunmetal, not sure. It's basically just a nice mid-tone gray. If I'm adding any value to the background, I'm using a product called the Pan Pastel. It's basically powderized pastel that is put into these little containers that are kind of like makeup compacts. It's applied using a palette knife type applicator with these little sponge tips. I have one in white and one in black. They cover really nicely if I want a solid background color, or they can also be applied in a gradient with some blending. For modeling the form with shadows, I use Nitram charcoal. It comes in H, HB, B, and B+, which is a 6mm round. These are great. They blend really nicely and they give a great range of value. For sharpening the Nitram charcoal, I use this paddle thing by Nitram. For highlights, I use General's Charcoal White. It's nothing fancy. It blends pretty well and it comes in a nice pencil form, so it can be sharpened really easily. For darker detail work, like some hair strands or eyelashes, or basically anything dark that I need a really nice, sharp, crisp focus on, I use just a General's Charcoal 2B pencil. For blending, I just use generic blending stubs and tortillons. I don't erase often, but when I do, I use one of these Moo erasers, which are pretty nice, or I use a kneaded eraser, depending on what the job is. And that's about it. The only difference is if I'm doing a life drawing session, and in that case, the pan pastels will also be used to roughen the form and to basically block in any shadows. So in addition to all that stuff, since Nitram sent me the Nitram Stylus, I've been using that for about the last week. So let's take a look at that. It's got a plastic base, metal holder for the actual charcoal, and it's loaded through the back here underneath these cool little caps that are color coded to help you know what kind of charcoal you've put in here. I can never remember what the colors mean, so I went through and wrote the grade of charcoal on the cap just so that I won't forget and I don't have to go looking for the box. With the stylus comes the 4 different caps for their H, their HB, their B, and the 6mm soft round, which is like basically just a B plus, I think they call it. It also comes with one of each of those pieces of charcoal so that you can get started right away. And it comes with a fancy pin. The box is designed in such a way that I kind of feel like they want you to hold on to this thing and use this to store everything. It has a nice magnet closure on it so that you don't really have to worry about it opening on its own, but it's a little bulky. The stylus itself is great. It's really nice and light, and it feels like an extension of your hand when you're using it. In the past, before the stylus, it's just so that I didn't get charcoal on my hands, I was using just like a surgical glove, basically. Same gloves that I use when I'm painting. But it was really nice to not have to have that because my hands always get sweaty in those. So it was really nice to be able to use the stylus. It's, like I said, it's really nice and lightweight. It's really easy to change the charcoal in and out by just popping off the cap on the back and sliding the piece of charcoal in. Additionally, you can also use this to store the piece of charcoal by just sliding it in. If it's a full piece, like if it's a relatively new piece of charcoal, a little bit is going to stick out the top, but not really a big deal. If you got a smaller piece of charcoal, it'll fit nicely in here and you won't have to worry about it breaking if you're moving around and going to like a life drawing session or something. The charcoal is held in place by basically a tension set ring instead of a screw cap like some of the ones for that you might find at like Hobby Lobby for pencils. It's really easy to load. You just stick the charcoal in the back of the stylus. You put the little cap on that corresponds with the color of the color that's on the charcoal. And then you just bring up the little tension set ring. Really easy. It's nice and sturdy. The charcoal's not going to push back in. It holds it really nicely. And all in all, it's just a really nice piece of equipment. So we've talked about what I like about the stylus. Let's talk about what I don't like about it. And it's only one thing. It's the price. These are $40. Now, yes, with those $40, you get the stylus, you get the 4 caps that go on the back, you get one of each of the 4 different kinds of charcoal that fit in this, you get the magnetic close box, and you get a pin. The problem is, I don't want just one of these. I like this. I want 4 of them. I want one for each of the grades of charcoal, and that means that I would have to spend $160 just in charcoal holders so that I can get my optimal use out of these. Now, I want 4 of these because if I'm at a drawing session or if I'm even just working in my studio, I get in a roll. I want to just pick up the next piece and get right to work. I don't want to sit there, disassemble the stylus, put the next piece in, find the right cap for it, and then start working. If I'm at a life drawing session, that means that I would have to try to time my drawing so that I'm ready at the break to pick up and disassemble, put the new piece of charcoal in, find the right cap. That's not always the way it works though, is that sometimes at those sessions, you're just drawing and you're ready to get on to the next piece so that you can advance in your drawing. And that means that I would have to take time out of the session, which I'm paying for, to do all of that and to do those steps. Yes, it doesn't take that long, but there's a difference between taking a minute to find the right pieces and get it put together versus just reaching down and picking up the next piece. For some people, this isn't going to be an issue. You can, if you're only working in one grade of charcoal, like for the entire drawing, this is great. Or even if, you like to take regular breaks and you don't mind taking the time to change these out. That's awesome. The problem I see with it is that eventually I'm probably going to end up losing some of these caps. If I only had to worry about one per stylus, no problem. Not to mention the fact that I would have extras of all of them if I had 4 of these. So basically what I would like to see in the future is a cheaper version of this. Maybe it doesn't come with the nice fancy box. Maybe it doesn't come with the pin. Maybe it doesn't come with all the different charcoals. Because chances are, if you're buying this, you already have these. But like I said, that's really just my use. I would find that having more of these is going to be more useful than just having one of these. But that's not for everybody. And all in all, this is a great product. I think if you're using the Nitram charcoal, you should definitely check out the Nitram Stylus. And this will definitely be something that you see me using in future videos. So check out the stylus and the charcoal at nitramcharcoal.com. As always, I'm Matt Cook. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel and like this video. If you want to stay up to date on what I've been doing with my paintings and drawings, go to Instagram and follow me at Matthew Cook Art.